Hey everybody, Ben here from the Bonehead podcast, and welcome to Team Development. We are looking at the Old World Alliance team today. So OWA landed in Blood Bowl 2016 last year, sort of middle to end of last year, in the height of lockdown basically. They dropped this good version of Chaos Renegades, essentially. You got dwarves, you got humans, you got halflings, you got ogres, and you've got treemen. There's probably too many plurals in the use of that. You can either have an ogre or a tree man. You get 2 halflings tops. You get a few dwarves and a few humans. It's an interesting team. It's got better in Blood Bowl 2020. It was really hampered in Blood Bowl 2016 rules. But in 2020, it's a really interesting challenge. It's rated as a tier 1 team. I think it's more of a tier 2 team. You've got a lot of animosity and you've got a lot of loner. 3+, but still loner on some of your key players. Really interesting team, very unique. And what we're going to do now is we're going to go through each of the positionals, so this may take a little while, and look at some of the top skills. If you're going to be running these in League, what you're going to want, when you're going to want it, and what's going to work well for you for your Old World Alliance team. So you get a choice of 2 big guys, an ogre or a tree man. The advantage of both is the ogre has the movement, but the tree man has the arm and the strength. So we'll start off with the Altern Forest Tree Man. 120,000, movement 2, garbage movement. Strength 6. Lovely strength 6. So it's got agility 5+ and passing 5+, because it's going to be launching halflings for you. Armor 11+ means that this dude is not going anywhere basically. Loner 4+, pretty normal for a big guy. Mighty blow +1, pretty normal for a big guy. Stand firm, strong arm, take root, thick skull, throw teammate, and timber, which means he gets +1 to stand up rolls for every support around him. So this guy having armor 11+, along with stand firm, thick skull, he is going to stay in one place for you. He may even do that of his own accord if he takes root. So those are all the downsides of the tree man. This guy performs 2 roles for your OWA team. The first is obvious. This is the catapult for your team. You've only got 2 halflings. So you're not going to be throwing as much as you like. So one of the roles is going to be using that strong arm, passing 5+, and getting that halfling in the backfield, whether it's to be a distraction or to go for the 1-turn touchdown. Your treeman will give you technically the best angle to do that with. The second thing is that he is going to be a strength 6, armor 75 bruiser that goes on your line and just makes those players there. Makes their job impossible. He's going to hold his position. So let's look at skills for the tree man. So combat skills are really important. Brawler is going to mean he is blocking better. Brawler gets you basically a reroll for 1 dice in your block pool if it is both down. So you roll push and both down, you can roll that both down and see if you can score a cheeky pow. Break tackle, it means once per turn it's going to be dodging away on a 3+. Now that is going to be useful to redeploy it. Your team is not massively fast, so don't worry too much about it. This isn't Wood Elves. But being able to smooch out of a tackle zone on a 3+ instead of a 5+ is huge, especially because you can use those 2 squares to get to your halfling to throw it. So can be useful, plus redeploying a strength 6 piece is going to be sweet. Guard, I think, is probably the best skill here for the OWA. This guy's going on the line. You've got other reasonable positionals to go on the line alongside it, and making them +1 strength is just gonna make it so much better. So guard, I think, is probably the top pick. Brawler's going to mean he's blocking more reliably, and with strength 6 you're only 1 assist away from 3 die blocks, and that's going to be very tasty. But guard is going to enable the 2 guys next to him to block better and on defense as well. Multiple block is also a very good option for this tree man. Strength 6 is 2 strength 4 blocks, which is 2 die blocks against most people. That is basically giving you an extra player that's going to be smashing stuff, and you got mighty blow +1, so that's also very useful. Random strength is something you can take. If you get 3 SPP, maybe it scores a couple of casualties, you know, or gets the MVP. you can take a random strength. So armbar is going to be okay, brawler is going to be good, break tackle is going to be useful, grab is going to be useful as well. Because the way OWA works is kind of dysfunctional, having the ability to grab your opponent and place them where you want them is going to, one, keep them in base contact with the treeman if it takes root, but also you're going to be able to farm it back for a cheeky foul, or just farm it off to somebody else for a follow-up block. So grab is going to be good for you, guard is going to be great, juggernaut isn't going to be superb, although blitzing with a strength 6 piece is great fun. When you're movement 2, you're probably going to be using both go for it's to make that happen. Mighty blow is a reroll, multiple block, as we said, is good. Pile driver, worst possible skill I think for the tree this side of shadowing. Don't do it. It's great fun, but the tree's going to get fouled off, and if he doesn't get fouled off, he is now prone, and a prone tree is a bad situation. Stand firm, going to be a reroll. Strong arm, going to be a reroll. Thick skull, going to be a reroll. So 4 good skills, 4 medium skills to bad, and 4 skills that are just straight up reroll. So you've got a 50% chance of getting something decent if you take that random roll. Break tackle is going to mean your tree is slightly more maneuverable. Guard is going to unlock your friends. Multiple block is he's blocking twice per turn, and brawler means when he does block, it will be more efficient. Block, if you want to save up 12 SPP, is going to do great things for the treeman. A leader is not a terrible skill. It is a throwaway skill for the treeman to take in League, but the way rerolls run now, it's not bad. And leader on this guy it's going to be there forever because he's not going away. I said this in the Wood Elf roster video. I'm going to say it again here. You can not be hasty and just save SPP forever with the treeman, get block, then save forever more and get a stat up, because passing is going to make your throwing of a halfling better. Strength 7 is amazing. You're going to pay for it through the nose at a 200k treeman at that point, but 3-die blocking all day long sounds pretty awesome to me. And movement 3 is going to really unlock your treeman's move issues. So, you know, on the low end you can take a random 3 SPP. At 6 SPP you can take brawler or just one of these other skills here and just be better. 12 SPP if you want to save up, you can take block, and block is obviously the best skill combat wise, or you save up to 18 and basically get a movement 3 tree. There's a lot of great options, and the cool thing about the tree man is with armor 11 and a strength 6 you're going to have time, so it's really down to you and how long your league is. On the other hand, you can go for the ogre. So the ogre is remarkably agile compared to the tree man. 140k, movement 5, strength 5, agility 4+, passing 5+, so same passing but doesn't have strong arm, so remember that. Armor 10+, still not bad. Bonehead, loner 4+, mighty blow +1, thick skull, and throw teammate. So not quite as resilient as the tree, but literally nothing is. However, ogres do tend to stick around. Armor 10+ and having thick skull, this guy's really not going anywhere either. So where the tree man kind of stays in place, gums up the line, and has that extra advantage when throwing, the ogre can kind of be the jack of all trades. You can blitz with an ogre, it's movement 5. It does good stuff. You can throw with an ogre, it does good stuff as well. So skills wise, on a strength, brawler again is going to make your ogre good at blocking. Not good for blitzing, so bear that in mind with the ogre, because you can blitz with it because it's got the movement to do so. Guard, I think, is the king skill here. Like I said, you can maneuver around with the ogre, but it gives you the most options. So if you deploy your ogre on the line and it's got guard, your 2 friends next door, they get better. If you use him to protect your ball carrier, because where this guy's got 5 movement, you can do that. Guard is going to protect your ball carrier. And also, if you deploy him as a linebacker, he can float around and support a blitzer when you go for a strike if they're blitzing. I do like guard on the ogre. It's a 2+ activation. Sometimes it's going to fail, and when it does fail, it means you're not losing your blitz. But what it does do is move that guard piece in and blitz with somebody else. If you can't get the guard in, fair enough, but you haven't lost your blitz, you can move other pieces around. Break tackle is a great skill on an ogre because it means once per turn it gets +2 to its dodge roll, which takes it from a 4 to a 2+. Happy times. That's a good dodge into the open, which also means there's a cheeky 3+ dodge into 1 tackle zone, so it can be done. Some other good skills here: grab, strong arm, and multiple block for exactly the same reasons we said on the tree man. Strong arm's just going to help him throw better. He's going to be passing basically on a 4+ there, and that's going to help you get more SPP. Saving up for 12 SPP here for block is not terrible, and if you feeling saucy, you can go for frenzy and kind of make him in like a mini minotaur. Doesn't have horns, but still 2 blocks is pretty cool. The other skill there I put is dodge. Dodge is going to help you if you've got break tackle, but pro will be really useful on the ogre as well. If you take a random strength, brawler, guard, break tackle, grab, strong arm, multiple block, 6 are good. Fixed skull is a reroll, so you've got a 6 to 5 odds of getting a skill you like at 3 SPP. This is why I think the ogre is a really solid choice for OWA, because any one of those skills is great. And Juggernaut isn't on there, but really, if you get Brawler or Juggernaut, the guy is either a blocker or a blitzer at that point. So 7 good skills here in strength for Ogre. I really like it. You can do the slow brew, and I think we'll probably see this on BB3 if OWA ever land. A random stat is not bad for an Ogre. Blood Tithe Ben is a huge fan of giving Ogres random stats in Blood Bowl 2020. Movement 6 is not bad. Agility 3+ Ogre, not bad. Passing 4+ is going to help you throw things around, and Strength 6 is pretty cool. I personally think if you're going to wait that long for SPP, take block. It's just going to unlock your Ogre. But I don't mind a cheeky 3 SPP random strength there, because you've got 7 good options. And who do these guys throw? Well, they throw 0 to 2 Old World Halfling Hopefuls. So 30k, Movement 5, Strength 2, Agility 3+, Passing 4+. Not bad. Armor 7+. Animosity, all dwarf and human teammates. So animosity to everybody except the big guys and the other halfling. Animosity is not terrible. It's going to come up once every couple of games, and it's going to cost you a reroll. So it's a nuisance, but you can work around it. Dodge, right stuff, stunty. So halflings perform 2 roles. One is being thrown either at stuff, into the backfield, or to score. That's all fine. The second is their 30k stunty pieces. You can be aggressive with these guys, because although they're movement 5, they can break out of a cage with a 3+ followed by a 3+ and dodge. So with 2 cheeky 3+ rolls, that guy can break into the open, and yes, it's movement 5, but movement 7 is achievable if you're if you're willing to risk the rushes. Movement 7 is going to be it's going to put you in a good spot to score. 7 squares away from the end zone, 3+, 3+, 2+, 2+ for an opportunity at a touchdown in a bad spot is really cool. Also 30k Fowler, not bad. If you get sent off, you get sent off. Realistically, the halfling is there to be your throw teammate option, but I cannot stress this enough, and I talk about this on every video where there is a throw teammate option. Going for a throw teammate blitzer role is really effective. You open up, you kick to them, that's fine. On your turn, you chuck that halfling into the backfield. It then runs around distracting players. 30k means that whoever they detach to block it, to tag it in place, to reposition, to protect their ball carrier, they're going to be using probably more than 30k's worth of team value. So you're going to win the TVOP on that one, because a halfling is not worth a lineman or 2 other linemen. So you're going to net gain by using that. And like we just said, stunty, 3+ dodge, 3+ dodge, you can get anywhere at once. And it might not be the worst thing in the world to just sneak the halfling onto the ball carrier and then just leave him there. And there's some skills here that can help you achieve it. Sneaky Git's going to help you with fouling. Jump up is going to help you with being thrown around. Now, you can throw a prone player now. So if the halfling is on the ground, you throw it. It doesn't need to land. You just roll for armor. That's going to hurt. But then it just pops up and it's got movement 5. And if you chuck it into the backfield, it's then running around. That's fantastic. Catch is going to help you with a stretch play for throw teammates. Sprint is going to help whether you are whether you're running with the halfling, flying with the halfling, or harassing with the halfling. Having movement 8 potential is cool, and to make that happen, Sure Feet is a useful skill as well, and Sidestep works great if you're going to use him to harangue the ball carrier. Taking a random agility is something you can do with 3 SPP, so say that halfling gets a cheeky touchdown and you're not too fussed about anything else, you can go for random agility. You've got a whole bunch of skills there that are going to be great for you. Saving up a little bit more, Dirty Player is going to work out great for you, and Wrestle is going to be useful to 3+ stunty dodge in and then take a 2 die up Wrestle. It works more often than you think. Alternatively, and this might be a little bit more risky, saving 6 SPP and going for a random general and halfling can be really good fun. But these guys are there to foul, to rush on emergencies, and to be thrown around to either harangue the ball carrier or go for that throw teammate. So I think focus on your agility skills or save up to take Wrestle. But hey, if you take a random general, once you've got 2 touchdowns, and you get something you don't like, I don't know, kick is going to be useful, but eventually you're going to want that halfling, you can just sack it. 30k, buy another one. Not bad at all. I've put the stats here, but really don't worry about it. Now for something slightly more spicy than a Halfling Hopeful, we've got the Troll Slayer. So you get one Troll Slayer on this team, and it is 95,000, movement 5, strength 3, agility 4+, passing nothing at all, cannot pass, armor 9+, block, dauntless, frenzy, thick skull, standard Troll Slayer, but he comes with loner 3+. So I'm going to highlight this for all the dwarfs, all the players that have loner. Pro is not a terrible general skill. If you've got a 3+ loner roll to re-roll the dice, Pro is a 3+, and realistically you only want to re-roll 1 dice anyway, because if you take a 2-die block and it's skull skull, re-roll 1 skull on a 3+, that's great, you can do it. So Pro for all of these players is worth considering. It's going to make them more consistent, and it kind of gets you over that loner edge. In fact, it might even be more beneficial. But we'll ignore that for now and say that you've either decided not to go the route of Pro or you want to do it later. Mighty Blow for the Troll Slayer. This guy is your removal. If you've got a blitzing Ogre, you're going to have fun with that. But having a second player that has Dauntless and Frenzy, give it Mighty Blow. Gives you 2 attacks every turn with this guy to take something out. Mighty Blow on a Troll Slayer is fantastic. Ask any dwarf coach ever. Stand firm, tackle, guard is great. Strip ball can be useful. Pile driver can be useful. It is a bit risky. If you want to go mega removal, then Mighty Blow into pile driver is going to give you that cheeky option. But then you are risking your 130k Troll Slayer or whatever it is. Stand firm is going to protect you from frenzying into bad places. Tackle is going to make you a pretty effective safety even if you are movement 5. Guard is probably the second skill I would give my Troll Slayer. I'd go Pro to make it more effective, and then I'd look at guard, because the more guard you've got, the more dice you're rolling, and the more dice you're rolling to choose from, the less chance there is that you actually need to use a reroll. So the more guard you get in OWA, the better, the more efficient and the more consistent the team is going to be. It's your one main weakness here, is that this team is it's not cohesive. It's not effective. So taking Pro, taking guard, giving you the advantage and the edge there is going to be really sweet. If you want to save up, actually movement is going to help with the Troll Slayer because it's going to be frenzying around. Dodge is going to be cool, and sidestep's going to be cool too. But really, Mighty Blow, Pro, and guard, any one of those is going to be great for your Slayer. But if you don't want to blitz with the Slayer, you can blitz with the Blitzer. So this is a Dwarf Blitzer. You get one of these as well. 80k, movement 5 as well, strength 3 as well, agility 3+. That is good for this team. Passing 4+, that is also not bad for this team. Armor 10+ on this guy. Block, thick skull, and loner 3+ again. So Pro, talked about it, same thing. Guard, Mighty Blow. Honestly, it's the same kind of thing, and one thing you can do is you can then progress your Dwarf Blitzer to take Frenzy, and you end up with 2 Troll Slayers, essentially, and that's not bad, because being able to strike with Frenzy where you want to is going to be really useful for you. However, Troll Slayer, Blitzer, you've got to give one of them guard. Whichever one you give guard is going to help support the other one. So if you give guard to the Blitzer, the Troll Slayer is going to be more effective. If you give guard to the Troll Slayer, if you do stuff with the Troll Slayer, the Blitzer is going to have a better like follow-up attack as well. I think I like guard on the Blitzer rather than the Troll Slayer. Guard on Blitzer, Mighty Blow on the Troll Slayer. If you don't have one though, you can use them cross rolls. The Dwarf Blitzer fits the same category as the Troll Slayer, which is a slow removal essentially. So guard, Mighty Blow, Pro for the Blitzer, exactly the same, but you get to develop him in concert with your Slayer, with your Blitzer, and with your human Blitzer. Those 3 pieces, guard, Mighty Blow, are going to be really useful. So remember, more guard is more better when it comes to OWA. And you can also take a Dwarf Runner, so 0 to 1 Dwarf Runner, 85,000, movement 6, strength 3, agility 3+, passing 4+, armor 9+, sure hands, so this is going to be one of your sure hands pieces, thick skull, and loner 3+ again, so Pro, etc. Dwarf Runners, block. It sounds boring, but it will make them really effective ball carriers. Movement 6 is not bad, and having block and sure hands means that it's going to be really difficult for your opponent to sack him and steal the ball off you. Plus, if you've got loner issues, having integral rerolls is going to be beneficial. And if your Dwarf Runner is the guy who gets the ball and keeps hold of it, then taking sure hands means you will not have to use a reroll to make that happen, because if sure hands can't get it done, it ain't getting done anyway. The cool thing about this piece is that as it's got passing on a general, you can do the whole loner leader thing, like we said earlier. Leader for this team is going to save you 140k, so actually definitely worth considering making your Dwarf Runner a leader caddy. Thick skull and armor 9+ means it's pretty resilient as well. It is the same amount of resilience actually as the human one, but thick skull is going to keep it on the pitch a little bit better. On the ball, however, is going to be useful. 3 free squares when you are movement 6. It's half a turn, you get free rolled. Nerves of Steel and Accurate are just going to help your passing game be just a little bit better. You know, passing 4+ with this guy, so I wouldn't worry too much about those things. I think block, on the ball, leader is going to be really useful. Pro as an option there if you want to do other stuff, but if you use your runner as a leader caddy, that's fine. Giving him block is going to make him more resilient. You've got sure hands, so if all he does is move around, pick up the ball, hand it off, because this guy does not have animosity, then you won't need that reroll too much. If you want to save up for doubles, break tackle is going to mean he dodges around at a 2+ once per turn. That is going to be useful to make the most of his movement 6. Dodge again is never bad. Saving up for a stat, movement 7 isn't bad. Agility 2+ is actually good. So maybe you take block or leader on your first skill, and then you slow brew and take a stat in your second season. It can be beneficial. Alright, we've got the Dwarf Blockers here. So you get 0 to 2 Dwarf Blockers, but these are not the Dwarf Blockers you are used to. These are old world Dwarf Blockers. 75k, movement 4, strength 3, agility 4+, passing 5+, armor 10+. Okay, so dwarf stat line. You're expecting block and tackle here, but you will be disappointed. These guys come with armbar, brawler, thick skull, and loner 3+, so they are just strictly worse Dwarf Blockers than the ones from the dwarf team. So guard is the most important thing here for blockers. If you've got your big guy and it's got guard, you deploy your Dwarf Blockers next door. Armbar is going to come in handy every now and again. You're going to net a couple of extra bits of removal across the season from armbar. That's a passive skill, it's just going to happen. Brawler is going to make your blocking more effective, but it is really a pointless skill if you're making a 1-die block. Brawler is there to make your 2-die blocks more effective, and it's going to be beneficial at that point. Having guard on these guys is going to support the other guys who you're putting them next to, who have probably also got guard. Creating a guard network, tying it in with Brawler, is going to mean that these guys are basically Black Orcs at that point, and we all know that Black Orcs are great. So these are not the typical Dwarf Blockers, but taking block is going to be sweet. Taking tackle is going to help you with capitalizing on the fact you've already got armbar, which is basically mighty blow if someone fails to dodge away from you. Block, mighty blow, grab are ultimate blocker skills anyway. It's a shame that you kind of want to take block in this with this guy, because brawler is great when you've got the strength to make 2-die blocks. If you've got guard, if you've got a guard net, the blockers are fine. If you don't have a guard net, then block is going to be a useful skill. Mighty blow is always fun. Grab can be fun as well. Defensive on a double, defensive on a secondary is a long way to go, and diving tackle is going to be sweet to capitalize again on that armbar. But it is a long way to go with a player that is going to struggle to get SPPs for defensive casualties. Brawler is great, but only good on your turn. Pro, same thing we said before. This guy got loner 3+, so having pro kind of gets you a free rolled reroll. So pro might not be bad, but guard will be king for these Dwarf Blockers. You get 2 of them. Just imagine the front line of a Ogre / Treeman, 2 Dwarf Blockers, start building the guard network, makes other linemen better. Good stuff. And now for a great player that does not have loner. So the human Blitzer, you get one of these as well. 90,000, it's movement 7, strength 3, agility 3+, passing 4+, armor 9+, block. General and strength on ordinary skills, and secondary skill is agility. Now it has animosity, all dwarf and halfling teammates, so you can hand off to your big guys, no worries at all, and you can do it to the rest of the humans, but dwarves and halflings not so much. Not going to be a massive issue, I don't think, with the Human Blitzer, except every now and again if you need to do a stretch play. Otherwise, your Blitzer is going to be the target of the ball. So, good times there. Everything that is true of a Human Blitzer is true of the Human Blitzer for the Old World Alliance. But like I said, Troll Slayer, Dwarf Blitzer, Human Blitzer, Guard, Mighty Blow. All really good. You want to spread those around. Essentially, you end up with 3 Blitzers of this team, and each one of them is slightly different and has slightly better advantages. The 2 Dwarf ones are slow at movement 5, but they've got good armor, kind of generally speaking, and they've got some brawl. They've got some brawl about them. The Human Blitzer is kind of your all-star. Movement 7 and agility 3+ means it's going to be one of your best scoring players. Guard feels like a bit of a loss here on this Human Blitzer, but it is going to be useful to unlock your other players. The alternate option here with the Human Blitzer is you just wait and take a stat up, because movement 8 Blitzer going to be sweet, agility 2+ Blitzer going to be really good. At that point you've got a Dark Elf, and strength 4, although it's going to cost you a lot of money, is going to be quite cool because you get 1 Blitzer. Alternatively, taking dodge is going to mean that you've got a blodger straight out of the gate. I kind of see the 2 dwarves as little hammer anvil kind of pieces, and that Blitzer is that mid-range player. It's kind of almost a runner in this team, where you've got your 2 Blitzers, the Dwarf Blitzer and the Troll Slayer, and this Human Blitzer is kind of your runner, your scoring threat. But at guard, it can be really useful to unlock the rest of your team. So there's a ton of good skills for Human Blitzers. Guard, Mighty Blow. Tier 2 skills, Dauntless, Frenzy, Tackle, and Pro are just going to help make this player. Dauntless, Frenzy, Tackle really are an answer to your meta of your league. Guard, Mighty Blow will be a fantastic place to start. At that point, this guy becomes removal. I like either Dodge, Stat Up, or Guard first. Guard is going to unlock another player more frequently, and then when you've got 2 Guarders hunting together, fantastic. Dodge, Blodge, movement 7, wonderful, and any stat up is great on the Human Blitzer. I think dodge or guard first, then just save for that stat. Nearly there, guys. Okay, so Human Catcher, you get 1 of these as well. 65,000, movement 8, strength 2, agility 3+, passing 5+, armor 8+, catch, dodge, animosity for dwarf and halfling, so humans no problem at all. Agility and general on a primary skill, and strength on a secondary. So block is fantastic on a Human Catcher, becomes a movement 8 blodger at that point. Sprint, sure feet, going to make it even faster, and sidestep's going to help you do things and just stay alive and just gain movement points. Diving catch will be useful if you're catching a direct pass. You will then be catching it on a 2+, plus scattered balls gives you the option and the opportunity to roll a 4+ to try and swoop up one of those. That's not bad either. Shadowing isn't a terrible skill on this player. Probably not one of the first things I would do though. Dirty player, sneaky git if you want to use this guy as your fouler. Probably not going to be doing that on the OWA team too often, but it does give you that option. I like block on the Human Catcher straight off the bat. Then you can save up for one of these other 2 skills if you want. Nerves of Steel means that this guy catches 3+ with a reroll all of the time, unless you're playing Nurgle basically. And Break Tackle means that once per turn it's going to have a 2++ dodge away into the open. With movement 8 you've got the scope to move around the edges there. So Break Tackle is going to be really useful. You can, for example, take block and then not take anything else. Save up SPP and take this stat up roll, because a movement 9 Human Catcher is going to do some serious work, because at that point you've got a gutter runner basically. That's hyperbole. Agility 3+ is not agility 2+, but movement 9 is lovely. So the Human Catcher is going to be a great assist to score, and you kind of want to direct him to be another great scoring threat. And then we've got the Human Thrower. There's an asterisk on there because he's not quite as good as the standard Human Thrower. So 80,000, you get 1 of them. Movement 6, strength 3, agility 3+, passing 3+, armor 9+. So the passing is 1 worse on the OWA Thrower than the Human Thrower, which is a shame. Does still have pass and sure hands, but also has animosity to dwarf and halfling teammates. So got a bit nerfed here, this guy, at general and passing on primary and strength on secondary. And agility. Okay, so the Human Thrower, what's it going to be doing? Passing 3+, and the fact it's got animosity to essentially half of your team, means it's not going to be throwing all that much. What you do have here, though, is a sure hands piece with the option of a cheeky pass with a free reroll. there's kind of a couple of angles you can take. Block is going to mean he becomes an effective ball carrier. You don't want to be throwing, because throwing gives you the opportunity to drop. So taking block is going to be good. On the ball is going to help you get 3 extra squares at the beginning to receive and make the most of that sure hands. Now the cool thing about the human thrower is you do have the ability to use re-rolls, which is pretty tasty, but as this guy has got passing, it's probably not bad to consider taking him as a leader caddy as well, because that's going to save you 140k when it comes to building your team in League. If you do want to go the throwing angle, accurate cannoneer, nerves of steel is going to turn that 3+ pass into essentially a 2+ pass when you do a quick pass. Still not great though. Block will be good for you. On the ball is going to help you with half a turn's worth of movement. Leader is going to make your team more effective. Saving up, taking dodge or diving catch again is just going to help speed up the ability for that thrower to get to where he wants to be. This guy is not a great quarterback. This is a second string quarterback. This is the kind of quarterback that you've got left over with when yours breaks half of his body. It's going to do the thing, and the thing's going to be moving around with sure hands and agility 3+. That's fine. You got a catcher, you got a blitzer, but this guy having block is going to mean that he can also run in the ball and allow your other pieces to just do what they're supposed to do. Stat up on this guy, not terrible. Movement 7 is okay. Agility 2+ will be great for you getting around and getting the ball, and passing 2+, then you can start building something exciting. And the last piece of the puzzle is the human lineman. So this is a bog standard human lineman, 50k, movement 6, strength 3, agility 3+, pass 4+, armor 9+, no skills, general on normal and AS on secondary. In this team of misfits, the human lineman brings it all together, because human linemen are great, really. Decent armor, decent strength, decent agility, decent movement. These guys can pick up the ball, they can block stuff, they can throw in a pinch. Probably shouldn't recommend it, but actually the human lineman is a good player, and this is your baseline. So it's really interesting. This is the bread that brings the OWA sandwich together, the human lineman. So what do you do with him? Well, you spend 3 points, 3 SPP, first of all, and you take a random general, because whatever you get is going to benefit your team. Block, you got another Blitzer. Dauntless, you got another Slayer. Dirty player +1. You've got someone that can follow your other guys around and just mop up with a cheeky kick to the head. Fend, you've got someone to put on the line and help slow down your opponent. Frenzy, Troll Slayer. Kick, you can position your ball wherever you want it to be, basically. You can pin them back, you can drop it deep, you can drop it close and just go for the offense. Pro, you just end up with a very effective player. Shadowing, not great. Strip ball, not great. Sure hands, you've got a second or third ball picker-upper. Tackle, you've got a safety. Wrestle, you've got a safety / someone who can go on the line and just pull that big guy down when he 2-9 blocks you and double and skull both downs. Random general, take it on the human lineman and then save up and capitalize, because you've got a bunch of individual positionals, and for 3 SPP you get 1 more. If it's a block, you got a movement 6 blitzer, that's faster than your dwarf. You know, if it's sure hands, agility 3 is another good way to pick up the ball. You can't go wrong, except well, you can, I guess, with sure hands, with the one where you follow people around. Come on, Ben, shadowing. Yeah, you can go wrong with that. Strip ball's not going to come up all that handy, but you've got good odds to pull something really sweet here with the human lineman, and then you can just save up and achieve whatever it is you need to achieve. Kick is going to be great, though, for your team, no matter what else happens. Alternatively, you can save up and take guard, because like I said earlier, the more guard the better. But if you take dirty player on a random, saving up forever to get sneaky gear, it's just going to help him be more effective. Basically, the lineman just fills in the blanks. 3 SPP, you get another positional. Whether it's a good one or a bad one, it doesn't matter. It's going to be 60k at that point. That's fine. You can fire him if you don't like him. Realistically, you're not. Even if you end up with a shadowing human lineman, it's just going to stand around on the line and every now and again really upset someone. That's quite funny too. OWA, really weird team. Animosity hurts you. Loner hurts you. Only having one of the positionals really hurts you. But it is a really interesting challenge, and you should definitely look at it like that. It's a great modelling challenge, but it's a really interesting coaching challenge, and whatever happens, you are going to end up with a unique team. This is probably the team that's got the most personality out there, because you are working against your opponent and your own team to somehow make it work. I think it's really cool. I'm looking forward to playing it on BB3 because I think OWA is going to reward you if you save your SPP for your skills. If you're in a slow league, you're gonna have a tough time with OWA. But if you are building a forever team, you are going to end up with a band of special players. It's basically going to be like the A team on the Blood Bowl pitch, and that is a show I would watch. Anyway, guys, going to wrap up this video here. Please let me know in the comments what you think of OWA, and quite frankly, if you made it all the way through all 75 positionals. I'm going to disappear, and we'll be back soon with more Blood Bowl content. Thanks for watching. Thanks very much for watching. We really appreciate your support. If you want to support the show even further, please like and subscribe. It really helps us out. Or come and join us in our Patreon, link below, where you get early access to our content and monthly competitions. See you later.